Come in. Welcome. I'm H.G. Yacht. Welcome to a thrilling tale of suspense and sleuthing. Tonight you will enter the world of amateur detective Nancy Drew and her pals as they solve the case of the ghost in the mirror. Our mystery drama was written especially for your entertainment by Sarah Cecile. Don't get too comfortable. Before long you'll be on the edge of your seat. I shall be back shortly with the beginning of Act 1.
Hello, Dad. So will you please tell me what this case is all about? The curiosity has been nipping at my concentration all day.
Of course, Nancy. I'm sorry to have kept you so long, but I wanted you to come down here to my office so I could tell you in person. Chief McGinnis has me consulting with the police station out in a town called Coddler's Creek. It appears that a woman named Idris Coddler has been drowned in the river behind her residence. They haven't uncovered a body, but there are signs of a struggle, and the family reports that she's been missing for a week.
Oh my! That is awful, isn't it? And to think the poor family doesn't even know for certain.
Well, that's where you come in, Nancy. The family has told me of another mystery involved in the case. Not only do they not know what happened to the woman, but they also claim that they are being haunted by her ghost.
This is beginning to sound more and more like my kind of mystery, Dad.
The family has been greatly disturbed by this tragedy, and they're asking if I knew anyone who could help. Of course, I mentioned your success, and they want you to go down as soon as possible, if it's not too much of an inconvenience.
I could be ready for tomorrow. Now, did they mention mine going alone?
Why, I made sure that your pals could all go along, and I would like you to bring the boys along too, Nancy. This case is appearing to have a violent basis, and it would ease my mind to know Ned and his friends were watching your back.
Oh, you think of everything, Dad. Okay, I will head over to Bess and George's to see if they can accompany me to Coddler's Creek. And after, I will telephone Ned and inquire about Bert, Dave, and him. This is all very exciting, but I do hope I won't let them down.
I have faith in you, Nancy. Now go and get ready. I'll call the Coddler residence and finalize all of the plans. I will give you the details tonight when I get home. I must get this call. But what you do say, you help Hannah cook up something special, and we'll have a nice dinner as a family tonight.
That sounds like a marvelous idea, Dad. A celebration for a new mystery to solve. I'll see you at dinner.
Nancy's friends, Bess Marvin and George Fain, were cousins and always accompanied Nancy in her sleuthing. They agreed to go with Nancy to Coddler's Creek, and arrangements were made for their good friends, and often dates. Ned Nickerson, Bert Edlington, and Dave Evans to pick them up the next day and join them at the Coddler residence.
Come on, girls. We mustn't be late, or the boys will get antsy. You know how those athletes are.
Oh, I know. Dave can get a little impatient when he's excited.
Maybe if Bess didn't pack such a heavy suitcase. What's in here anyways? 5 pounds of Hannah's Angel food cake?
Oh, George, I wish you wouldn't tease me. I had to make sure I had the proper clothing to look good with our guests and practical for mystery solving. You know Nancy always gets us into some sort of filthy adventure.
Oh, Bess, you know you always look wonderful, especially when Dave is around.
Now you're going to make me blush. And George, I wish I did have some of Hannah's cake, now that you've made me hungry.
Oh, well, I guess they're here now, girls. Is everyone ready?
Ready!
Neat.
Well, hi there, Nance.
Oh, Ned, it's good to see you.
Pleasure's all mine, miss. My, those bags look pretty heavy. Come on, boys, we're going to need you. Emerson boys, at your service.
Hiya, George.
Hey, Bert. Hey, Dave.
Hello, boys.
Well there, Bess. Looking pretty as a daisy.
The group of teenagers hopped into Ned's car and sped away towards Coddler's Creek. They were excited to see one another and for the mystery that lay beyond. It was unclear to Nancy what they might encounter at the home of the Codlers, but she was sure with the help of her friends that she could solve the case. After a few hours in the car and a quick stop for lunch, the eager crew arrived.
Wow, this place is a mansion. It's marvelous.
I bet there's even more to see inside. Let's go take a look and introduce ourselves.
Hello. Welcome. You must be Nancy Drew.
Yes, it's so good to meet you,
Mrs. Regina Codler. I am the lady of the house and Idris's mother. And these must be all of your friends.
Yes, ma'am. These are my friends, Bess Marvin and George Fain.
Hello.
Hi, how do you do?
Ned Nickerson and his pals, Bert and Dave.
A pleasure.
Lovely. Won't you please come in and remove your coats? I will have my nephew and Gardner bring your suitcases to your rooms momentarily.
Oh, we don't want to trouble you. Us boys can handle them.
Nonsense. It's no trouble, I insist. Now, I trust you will make yourselves at home over the length of your stay. Please, come in. Sit. How long are you able to be with us exactly?
Unfortunately, the boys can only stay for the weekend before they have to head back to Emerson College for school. But us girls are prepared to stay as long as the mystery requires.
Excellent. I am sure you're all very hungry. Help yourself to some finger sandwiches and cookies as I explain the nature of your business.
Sweet, thanks.
Yeah, okay, I'm starving.
Thanks. I'm starving.
The Codler family is the founder of this town and has been the most influential family here ever since my husband, Jack Codler V, was next in line to inherit the family legacy. He was already the head of the house here at Codler Residence and was helping his father, Mr. Jack Codler IV, to run the family business as partners. Jack sadly passed away 7 years ago, leaving his father as the man in charge and our only daughter, Idris, as the new next of kin to her grandfather. Because of the circumstances, Arnold will be the inheritor, although he insists we wait to settle his money until we figure out Idris's disappearance. Idris was never afraid of her pending responsibilities, and she was prepared to one day run our little town. Oh, speaking of family, Arnold, won't you please come and join us? This is my nephew, Arnold Codler. He has been staying with us for the past few months as a helping hand. His family lives on another estate in town. Arnold, this is Nancy Drew, the detective, and her friends.
How do you do?
Oh, hi, nice to meet you.
Hello. It's nice to meet you all. I've heard great things, Nancy Drew. Yes, she really is super sleuth.
Oh, gee. Well, thank you for the praise. I just hope I can live up to your standards and help you find closure to your mystery.
I'm sure you will, dear. Now, Arnold, I was just explaining to them our family history.
Ah, yes, and what riveting history it is.
I do find it quite an interesting tale.
Yes, please. We are all very curious to learn. Do go on.
Of course. Idris was the next in line to inherit her grandfather Jack's role. A month ago, Mr. Codler passed away of natural causes. It wasn't unexpected, for he was well past his 70s, but a very solemn occasion nonetheless.
I'm so sorry for you both. He sounded like a great man.
He was.
Idris is only 24. Well, was only 24, and soon to be married to her fiancé, Mason Landon. They had both been studying with Mr. Codler, and they were well equipped for the responsibilities. Mason would have made a fine head of house for my daughter. And then tragedy struck.
There.
1 week ago today, Idris went missing. When Mason told me of her disappearance, I called the local police chief right away. Stuart, our gardener, found the signs of a struggle on the bank of the creek in the backyard. We scoured all 80 acres of our land for 3 days. Eventually we had to accept that Idris must have slipped into the river and not been able to pull herself back out. Well, I haven't the slightest clue why she would have been down at the river in the middle of the night. Oh, that poor girl.
It's been a very somber month for our family, and I'm glad I'm staying here to accompany Aunt Regina. Ever since the night of her disappearance, something has been different here. There are unexplained noises in our house at night, things, items gone missing, and one thing that has frightened most of us, of the right wing of the second floor.
Her ghost!
Yes, there have been sightings. In the mirror at the end of the hallway, sometimes at night. If you wander around that corner, you will see Idris standing there in the mirror. It is chilling to the bone.
The ghost of a tragedy-struck woman drowned in the creek behind her house. Could she be returning for the love of her fiancé, or is she back to seek revenge? Find out soon as Nancy and her pals investigate in Act 2.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Oh, Jimmy, please tell me you didn't pour that sticky grape juice all over the wood floor. Lucy, don't paint the table with peanut butter.
Do you have a hard time keeping up with your little tyke's messes? Then I know exactly what you need. You need Mr. Clean.
Cleaning up messes has never been easier. Thank you, Mr. Clean. It's nice to have a man around the house.
It's been a long day's work in the hot summer sun. You deserve to put your feet up and feel refreshed. So what are you craving? Lemonade? Too tangy. Water? Too boring. What you need to quench that thirst is an ice-cold, refreshing Coca-Cola. Go ahead. You've earned it.
Welcome back to the story of the ghost in the mirror. Young Detective Nancy Drew and her friends have just arrived at the Codler residence, where a young Miss Idris Codler has mysteriously disappeared and now haunts her home. Was she murdered for her money or fleeing from her fiancé? Nancy is sure to find out as we move into Act 2.
Hey, Nancy, I wanted to come in here if you don't mind. This house gives me the creeps.
Yeah, come in.
Hey, Nancy. I just wanted to come in and check to make sure your room is okay.
Thank you both for checking on me, but I'm fine. I wanted to have a room closer to the mysterious mirror so that hunting for clues may be a tad easier.
I don't know how you do it, Nancy. You're always so brave.
If it's to help someone solve a mystery, I don't mind so much.
What do you think, Nancy? Do you have any suspicions yet?
I say it's a little too early to tell, but my best judgment has a weird feeling about that cousin Arnold.
Oh, I think he was a fine man, very courteous. I think he might have had his eye on you, Nancy.
Oh, nonsense.
Didn't you see the way Ned jumped right into complimenting you?
It doesn't matter. I prefer to keep my cases separate from my personal life as much as possible. Wouldn't want my views to be jaded.
Maybe we should try to do a little sleuthing around. What do you say, Nancy?
I don't think it would be such a bad idea.
Well, I will go and see if I can find the boys. I'd feel a lot better if they were around.
I do hope she knows where she's going. We've only been here for a few hours.
When it comes to boys, leave it to Bess to find them.
You know, Mrs. Codler mentioned that a gardener found the signs of a struggle down by the creek. I'd like to seek him out and have a word about the case.
Yes, that is a good idea. Let's say first thing tomorrow after breakfast, we take a look around the garden grounds and see if we can find him. I would love to do a little exploring outside.
Oh my goodness, that sounded like Bess!
It sounded like it was coming from out in the hallway. Let's go look. are you okay?
Bess, what happened?
The ghost in the mirror. I saw it right back there.
I have to go look. Nancy, wait up. Bess, where did you see it?
She was standing right there.
Thank you for breakfast, Mrs. Codler. It was delicious.
Oh, please call me Regina. It's the least I can do, especially considering your fright last night. My apologies, dear Bess.
Oh, it's all right. I'll be glad to stay with Nancy and George tonight, however.
If you don't mind, Regina, we were wondering if we could go with the boys and take a look around outside and possibly ask the gardener a few questions.
That sounds like a fine idea. Our gardener's name is Stuart Archer. You can probably find him in a shed around the side of the house. Also, Idris's fiancé, Mr. Landon, will be by later today, so make sure you don't stray too far. I'd love for you to meet him.
Of course. Thank you again.
So, Nancy, tell us what your plan is.
I'm hoping that we can split up and look for clues around the house and meet up at the gardener's shed. Maybe he will be willing to answer some of our questions and show us the spot they presume Iris drowned.
All right, then. How about Bess and Dave take the front yard? George and Bert, you go around the left side, and Nancy and I will go left.
Sounds like a good game plan.
We will report back to the shed with any evidence we find.
All right, just try not to take too long. If we're efficient, we may get to enjoy a break after lunch.
Say, Nancy, is that the gardener right over there?
Excuse me, you must be Stuart, the gardener, are you not?
Why, yes, I am. And who are you, ma'am?
I'm Nancy Drew, daughter of the attorney Carson Drew. We were told by Mrs. Codler that we could find you out here.
Well, here I am. What do you need? We were hoping to ask you a few questions, sir, regarding Miss Idris. I'm a little busy, can't you tell?
I'm sorry, we don't mean to inconvenience you, but the matter is very important.
Please, don't make us come back. Huh. Well, okay then. What?
Could you just tell me all you know about Miss Idris and the events of her disappearance?
There's not much to tell. Miss Idris was a naive young girl who had no clue of the quality of life she could have. She had her head in the clouds. I wouldn't doubt if she threw herself in that river just to escape all her responsibilities. Oh my, Mr. Archer, those are some heavy words. I have nothing more to say.
Well, what about explaining the day she went missing? Please?
Okay, follow me. Miss Codler had been acting very strangely for a few days before her disappearance. A man named Mason Landon?
Oh, Mrs. Idris's fiancé.
Whatever. That man came outside screaming that he couldn't find her and that we were to start a search party. I don't trust that gold digger and suspected immediately that he did something to Idris. My first instinct was to check that river, so that's what I did. Upon arriving right about here, I noticed footsteps in the mud leaning down the bank over there. Those certainly appear to be a woman's shoe prints. Like Nancy, they are almost the same size as your feet.
Indeed.
As I was saying, I followed the prints and they led me right down here to the creek. The water was flowing pretty heavy that day due to a storm the night before. If Idris had slipped, well, look for yourselves. Do you see those marks there, Nancy?
It certainly appears that whoever made these prints did in fact slip into the river.
But nothing. Idris is dead and it's all because of that fiancé of hers.
Mr. Archer, are you proposing?
Excuse me, gardener, but I believe it's time for you to get back to work. Your services here are no longer needed. Thank you. I'm sorry for the interruption, but I wouldn't trust anything that man says. He can be a little radical at times.
I'm sorry, but I don't believe we've met.
Oh, of course. How rude of me. My name is Mason Landon, Idris' fiancé.
I'm glad Ned was there with you, Nancy. That gardener sounds like a real creep.
Oh, he wasn't so bad, but I am grateful as well.
I wouldn't be very keen on you going down there again by yourself.
Did either of your groups find anything suspicious today?
Bert and I didn't find a thing. Bess?
Oh, we had to cut it short. That's why we all came looking for you and Ned so soon, Nancy.
Why? What happened?
As soon as we were looking around, I caught sight of something lurking behind the hedges. Dave went over to see who it was, and they ran away. Not fast enough, however, before Dave could catch a glimpse of their identity. It was that cousin, Arnold Codler. He was following us.
That is a little suspicious, isn't it?
Very.
So you never told us, Nancy? What happened after the fiancé arrived?
Yeah.
He made the gardener leave. They seem to have some unsteady water between them, don't you think, Nancy?
I'm sure of it. Mr. Landon told me that Mr. Archer was in love with his fiancée Idris. He tells me that the gardener had always tried to convince her to break up with him, and when she announced the engagement, he almost quit.
Oh, what a tragic love story.
There's more still. Instead of leaving, he asked for her hand in marriage.
Of course, Idris said no, for she was already engaged.
From the sounds of it, Mr. Landon feels very threatened by Mr. Archer, and without saying these exact words, he thinks the gardener may have something to do with Idris's disappearance.
Meanwhile, Mr. Archer told us at the river that he believed her fiancé made her unhappy and that he may be responsible for her drowning.
And what is your opinion on that matter, Nancy?
I'm trying not to get ahead of myself in suspicions,
but
I don't think Idris Codler drowned in that river.
What?
I believe Miss Idris is still alive and not very far away.
Could it be true, the death, an elaborate cover-up? Or could the jealous and rejected gardener be the culprit? Stick around to see what Nancy and her friends uncover when we come back to Act 3.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Mommy, I'm hungry.
Hungry? Why don't you get the cheese from the fridge and make a sandwich?
A cheese sandwich? Aw, man, I'm tired of that boring old stuff.
I know how to fix that. Let's go to McDonald's.
McDonald's? Yay!
Are you getting tired of that same boring old food in your fridge? Come on out to McDonald's and treat your family today.
Wow, Mom. Thanks for the treat.
Thank you, McDonald's. You sure know how to treat a family right.
McDonald's, serving family like yours the right way.
Welcome back to the mystery of the ghost in the mirror. Amateur detective Nancy Drew and her friends are hot on the trail in Codler Creek, where a young woman named Idris Codler has gone missing. Could she have been drowned in the river by a jealous gardener, suspicious fiancé, or a well-meaning cousin? Perhaps she isn't dead at all, as Nancy suspects. Maybe her ghost haunting the residents will have the answer. It could all be unveiled in Act 3.
Wasn't that dessert absolutely delicious?
Oh, Bess, I thought you said you were on a diet.
I'm supposed to be, but I'm never good at these things. The dessert just looked so good and I couldn't be rude.
Nancy, what are you thinking about? You hardly said a word all dinner.
I know that look. You're figuring something out, aren't you? Oh, do share.
Yeah, Nancy, let's hear your new hunch.
All right. I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling that someone just wanted it to look like Idris died.
Who would do such an awful thing?
I bet you that creepy gardener would.
Let's not jump to conclusions. I am wary of Stuart, yes, but I also have my suspicions about that nephew, Arnold, and her fiancé Mason appears to be hiding something.
Is that all so far?
Not quite. Do you remember how Mrs. Codler mentioned those disembodied noises and things going missing?
Yes.
Well, between those and the ghost in the mirror, I think it may have something to do with Idris's disappearance. She could have been kidnapped for ransom or something terrible.
Oh, not that ghost. Nancy, it was absolutely frightening.
I want to investigate tonight to see if I can't rule out some of the phenomena.
There's no way I'm going snooping around in this house at night.
Oh, come on, Bess. Nancy is right. This could be our last chance because the boys leave tomorrow evening.
All right. As long as I don't have to be alone.
Of course not. We can all split into groups again like we did earlier today. Bess, you and Dave can stay on the first floor, and if anything makes noise, or anyone, make a mental note of it. George, you and Bert can do the same thing on the third floor. We will see if we can explain these mysterious noises, and just maybe Ned or I will get to see the ghost.
You shouldn't be so excited to see it, Nancy. I'll be happy to sit downstairs with Dave by my side.
If we're going to be up all night, we should try to rest a bit now.
I agree. You girls go take a nap. I will go let the boys know of our plans, and we can plan to meet here in our room at 11 p.m.
All right, Nancy, where do you want to start looking?
We should start on the left wing and work our way towards the mirror.
What exactly are we searching for?
Any sort of clue. If you hear anything, try to identify what is creating the noise.
Okay. We've been searching for hours, Nancy. What do you say we sit down near the mirror and wait quietly?
That sounds like a very clever plan, Ned.
Oh, it's nearly 2 a.m. The sun will be up before we find anything, Dave.
Wait, Bess. Do you hear that?
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
Sounds like it's coming from the second floor.
Maybe we should check it out.
Ned, do you hear that? We must have fallen asleep.
No, hear what?
There!
I heard it, but where is it coming from?
The room across the hallway.
Let's go take a look. Watch your step, there's only moonlight now.
Ned, look! The ghost! It's there in the mirror!
She isn't moving. It's almost like a reflection.
Nancy! Ned, where are you? Oh! Ow! Dave, turn on the lights!
What was that?
Oh no, turn the lights back off.
Oh, there you are. We heard a noise up here and wanted to see if it was you.
Oh no! The ghost! She's gone!
Hey, what's going on down here? Did you all call off the search and forget about us?
No, we heard noises too. Dave and we came out to look.
And Idris's ghost was standing right there in the mirror.
But when you turned on the lights, it disappeared.
Oh, silly me. I'm awful sorry. I'm so clumsy. I fell on the stairs.
Don't worry, Bess. At least we saw her.
So what about the noises?
Let's go look in the room and see.
You boys go. I twisted my ankle.
Okay.
And?
Nothing. The room was empty. Maybe the noises they heard was us getting up.
I'm not sure, Ned, but I think it's time for us all to go to bed. There's nothing more we can do tonight.
The following morning, everyone slept in, and after breakfast, they decided to play a game of cards. Nancy claimed she was too tired and was going back to her room to rest. Along the way, her curiosity overcame her, and she wandered back to the room with the noises. She searched the room high and low for a clue to help her solve the mystery. The day pressed on, and after dinner the group of teenagers gathered on the front porch to say goodbye to the boys. Ned, Bert, and Dave were leaving Codler Creek to go back to Emerson College.
Before you boys leave, I have to tell you all about a momentous discovery I made today while you were all playing cards.
Well, don't hesitate, Miss Drew. What is it?
I have to be sure no one's listening. Let's go out to the car to be sure.
All right, tell us. It's safe.
I found the explanation to our friendly ghost.
What?
Yes, I remembered Ned saying the ghost looked like a reflection, and it dawned on me. Maybe it was a reflection.
Then we would have seen the person in the room.
Not if it was a picture painted on the wall.
But we checked the room. There were no paintings.
It was painted in special ink that you can only see in pure moonlight. That's what gives it a ghost-like hue, and why when the lights are turned on, she disappears.
What a clever idea. But why would someone go to all that trouble?
To mark the entrance of the secret room, hidden behind the walls of the room the noises came from last night. I think she planted the ghost to ward people off, so that they wouldn't uncover her hiding place.
Who do you mean by her?
Inside of the room, there was a bed and a desk and food and items from around the house. But there was one other thing. A pair of muddy woman's shoes, the same size as mine.
Like the ones that made the prints at the river?
Yes! I believe Idris Coddler is hiding out in the room upstairs. She must have faked her own death to throw off whoever she's hiding from and snuck away to that spot.
How exciting! But how can you be so sure if no one was in the room?
That's why I want to find out tonight.
Then we will need to plan. We need to have a plan to catch the resident of the secret room.
But us boys won't be here to help out. What if it's dangerous?
Oh, don't worry about us. I have a plan.
And what is your plan, Nancy?
If it is Idris, and she operates the way I suspect she does, then she will need to come out again tonight to get more food. We will wait until she leaves and sneak into the room. I'll use Bess and George as a hoax to force her to go back, and when she does...
You'll be waiting.
Precisely. Then Bess and George can follow to make sure I'm safe. We can all stay in the room and question her motives and figure out the rest from there.
It sounds a little precarious, Nancy.
I think it sounds like a great plan. But you better call us first thing tomorrow morning and fill us in.
Of course. But you better get going before it gets dark.
And you better start figuring out exactly what you're going to do tonight. Nancy, be safe. I wouldn't want anything to happen to my favorite detective.
I promise. Safe trip home. I will call you tomorrow, Ned, to pass on the news to Bert and Dave. Goodbye, and thank you. All right, does everyone know exactly what they're doing?
Yes. Bess and I will stay and make noise in the bedroom. When we hear the code tapping on the wall, we will venture downstairs and then work our way up to you.
Hopefully she will be in front of us, and then we will open the hidden room and join you.
Good. Make sure to be extra loud so she hears you coming, but don't raise any suspicions. Let's go.
Do you think we're talking loud enough? I'm afraid we might wake the owners. Oh, Nancy must be inside. Keep talking. Oh, I'm thirsty. Let's go downstairs for a drink of water.
Okay, let's. Yeah.
What do you want to do tomorrow?
I don't know. Maybe Nancy will want to go take a look at the river again.
Yeah, maybe. That poor woman.
Here, let me get you a glass.
I think she's heading up. Let's go.
All right. I'm very tired. We should go back to bed.
Good idea, Bess.
I'll scream if I see that ghost again.
Good. It will throw them off.
Then we can sneak up.
Hello, Idris.
Who are you? Please don't hurt me.
No, please. I'm a friend. I want to help you.
Why should I trust you?
My name is Nancy Drew. I was called here to solve the mystery of your disappearance. My friends and I have been staying here for a few days.
I've noticed. How did you find my hiding place? She is an amateur detective. Nancy never misses a clue. Who are they?
We're really sorry to startle you. We're Nancy's friends.
So, Miss Coddler, you have a lot of explaining to do.
I know. I feel awful, but I had to go into hiding. I was being threatened.
By whom? And for what?
I don't know. Ever since Grandpa Jack passed away, I've been getting threatening letters telling me I had to disappear, and they wanted what I had. I ignored them for so long until the night before I left. I got attacked in the dead of the night.
Oh, how awful! What happened?
I was sleeping when I heard a noise, and next thing I knew, a man held a pillow over my face and said if I wanted my life, I had to give him what he wanted.
I couldn't specify the man, but I knew I had to leave. The next morning, I set to work on the painting in special ink I had purchased for fun once. It can only be seen in pure moonlight, which is why you can only see my ghost at night. I wanted to scare off the man who was hunting me, and to mark off the entrance of this hidden room.
How did you discover the room?
I used to come in here when I was a little girl. My grandfather showed it to me and said we were the only ones who knew about it. I trusted him dearly. I knew I could survive a while in here, long enough to figure out my next move.
Does anyone else know your whereabouts?
I left a letter for my fiancé telling him that I was alive and in hiding because of an unknown threat. I made him promise not to share the knowledge with anyone else. But I still feel like I'm being hunted. I hear footsteps snooping all around, all the time.
I believe your hunch is correct.
Shh! I think I hear someone coming now.
Suspicions are flying. Are the girls at risk of the threatening hunter? Will they be found? Or will Idris' secret remain hidden? How will they reunite Idris back with her family? Stay tuned for the chilling final as Nancy solves the final mystery and brings Idris to justice in Act 4.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Oh, Martha, my stomach just doesn't feel right. I don't think I'm up for the disco tonight.
Do you have that bubbly feeling inside?
How'd you know?
It's called acid indigestion. I get it all the time. Here, take this Alka-Seltzer tablet in your water and you'll feel better in a jiffy.
Wow, that really works.
I can always trust in Alka-Seltzer. Should we go to the disco?
Thanks to Alka-Seltzer, I'm up for anything.
Alka-Seltzer. Heartburn relief that works.
We all know that man who's successful in everything he does.
Hello, miss. Care for a soda?
Why, yes, I would.
Boss, I hear you'd like to talk to me about something.
Oh, yes. What do you say about that promotion?
Want to know his secret? The power of a good smelling cologne. Try it for yourself.
Old Spice for the successful man.
Welcome to the harrowing tale of Idris Codler, who faked her own death just to run from a threatening predator. Who is innocent? The girls need to reevaluate who is friend and just who is foe. A cousin, a fiancé, a gardener? Nancy must figure it all out before it's too late. The chase ensues and the mystery is solved right here with a riveting ending in Act 4.
Oh, this is just so surreal. I thought you were dead, child.
Mother, the hardest thing I have ever had to do was put you through that. But you must understand it was for my safety.
But Mrs. Codler, Regina, you have to promise that you won't tell a soul about this. We have no evidence on who Idris' assailant could be, but we know he was someone close to her. Very close.
And we almost got discovered last night. We all had to sleep in that tiny little room.
And keep your voices down, please. We must be very cautious.
I'm not sure who I can trust anymore.
Ah, and that is why no one must know.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mother. We must hurry to the police station to let them know of the advancements we have made on their case and seek help for Idris.
Yes, Mrs. Codler, if you don't mind, we plan to borrow your car and drive into town shortly after dinner.
Of course, dears. And for dinner, it will only be us to enjoy in peace. All of the men have reported they will be away this afternoon for various reasons.
Oh, what marvelous timing!
Oh, we mustn't let our guards down yet. Not until the matter is safe in the hands of the police.
right, Nancy. You sure you don't mind driving?
Of course not. It puts me at ease to be the one behind the wheel.
What a beautiful opportunity to share that dinner with your mother and you, Idris.
It was very pleasant. Thank you.
Let's save the idle chit-chat. I want to get out of here. I have a sneaking suspicion we aren't safe just yet.
Now you're starting to sound like Nancy, George.
All right. Which way do I turn to go into town, Idris?
Just take it right up here, Nancy.
Nancy, slow down. That turn is pretty sharp.
I can't. The brake.
Nancy!
The brake isn't working.
Come on, guys, hold on!
Oh my goodness! Is everyone okay? Any injuries?
My body is fine, but my heart is beating faster than a racehorse.
What happened back there, Nancy?
Idris?
Come take a look at this. I think our car has been tampered with. Someone knew we planned to use it tonight.
Bess and I will be fine, Nancy. It's only a short distance left to town.
I just hope you ladies will be safe.
Don't worry about them, Bess. I trust that Nancy has a plan.
Nancy Drew always has a plan.
See you soon. Now make haste. I have to try to calm Idris down. Idris, you have to listen to me.
No, Nancy. I must run. I must go and hide. They're after me again. They know we are here, and I can't die. Oh, no.
Idris, breathe. Let yourself calm down. That's right. Now listen to me. No one is going to harm you. I won't allow it. Bess and George have gone to get help, and before long, they will be back to get us. It's imperative that you stay here with me and don't try to run off. We're safer if we stay together.
Oh, no. What was that?
Hello, Idris.
No, please!
Who is the mysterious man in the ski mask who appeared at the crash site? Could he be the same man who tampered with the car? Nancy and Idris have been kidnapped while Bess and George were away finding help. Will the help be too late?
Idris? Idris, where are you? Idris, over here. Can you hear me?
Nancy? Nancy, what's happened?
I think your assailant followed our car after it crashed. We've been taken hostage.
Oh, my head.
Listen, look around. Do you recognize where we are?
I'm not sure.
Focus really hard, Idris.
Yes, Nancy, this is Coddler's Creek. This is my land. We can't be too far away from the house.
Great job. If we can undo these bindings, we have a chance of escape.
It's hopeless, Nancy. Mine are too tight. We'd have to cut them loose.
Wait a moment. Let me try this rock. There!
Help me, won't you?
There you go.
Oh, what are we going to do now?
We wait until he comes back, and then we capture him.
Regina! What is it? What happened?
Excuse me, ma'am. Deputy Stone here. Have you been in contact with your daughter or Nancy Drew in the last hour?
No, well, what's happened? Arnold!
What, Aunt Regina? What's wrong?
We're looking for...
Have you seen our friend Nancy?
Not since this morning. Why? What's the meaning of this?
Someone tampered with your car, Regina, and we crashed.
Nonsense. The car is locked in the garage, and the only person in there today was Arnold to fix my brakes. Halt! I command you to stay where you are!
Come on, we have to follow him.
Arnold, stop!
Idris! Nancy! Watch out!
Arnold Coddler, I believe you should stay on the ground.
How could you? Nancy, are you okay?
Oh, Idris, I was so worried. Explain yourself, Mrs. Coddler.
Yes, Arnold. Why did you threaten to kill your own cousin?
That spoiled brat wouldn't know the first thing about running our grandfather's company, let alone the entire town. I overheard your plans of running the police last night, so I made a little plan of my own. She didn't need all that money and power, and she is a woman that would have been much better suited for the job. The inheritance should have been mine.
And it could have been. You know the money never mattered to me.
But it mattered to your greedy fiancé. That's why I stopped it before the wedding.
It appears to me you stopped the wedding so that you could collect all of the inheritance for yourself.
Maybe I did threaten her, but you have no proof.
We do have proof that you kidnapped us now, however.
Arnold Codler? You are under arrest for withholding evidence from the police, failure to comply, tampering with another person's property, intent to kill, and kidnapping. Oh, and assaulting these two young women.
No, this isn't fair. Regina, please, do something.
I'm sorry, Arnold. You could have had it all.
Nancy Drew, with the help of her pals, solved the mystery and brought the Codlers to justice. Idris was reunited with her fiancé, and they gained all her inheritance. All Idris wished for was a life at the Codler residence with her family. She gave a heavy sum of money to Mr. Archer, the gardener, so that he could quit his job and move into town to start his own family. Arnold was put into jail to serve his sentence, and a portion of the inheritance was set aside in a bank account for him when he got out. Idris was also generous to charities, as well as to Nancy and her friends, who would not accept any pay for their services.
I thank you so much, Nancy, Bess, and George. How could I ever repay you?
Enjoy your time here with Mr. Landon. The experience was all we need to be satisfied.
Thank you, Mrs. Codler, for being such a kind hostess.
Oh, dears, it was a pleasure. Make sure you send our gratefulness to your friends at Emerson.
Speaking of whom, that must be them now. I guess this is goodbye then.
Do stay in touch. We would love to come back and visit someday.
You are always welcome at the home of the Codlers.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
We'll miss you.
Thank you.
Hiya, Ned. Here to take us home?
Well, there's my favorite detective. What did I tell you, girls? Nancy Drew always solves her case.
You put me on too high of a pedestal, Ned.
How could I not?
Oh, stop it, you two.
Really, it's making me sick.
Oh, and Nance, my cousin wanted me to pass a message on to you.
Oh, and what's that?
He's got a mystery that needs to be solved.
Oh, not again. Really? Oh.
Las Vegas.
Greed is an awful virtue, one that drives good people to do very bad things. Arnold Codler fell victim to this plague, and look where it got him. So the next time you think about being greedy, remember our story of the ghost in the mirror. You never know who could be lurking, waiting for you to slip. Our cast includes the voice of Sarah Cecile, Holly Reddick, Carolee Cecile, Tim Cecile, Hank Yacht, Sabrina Reddick. The entire production was under the direction of Sarah Cecile. We hope you enjoyed tonight's radio mystery drama and do come again. This is H.G. Yacht inviting you to return for another Mystery Theatre, and until next time, sweet dreams.